anybody will make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
And I'll second.
Motion seconded, discussion. Any more discussion, submit your vote. Lucas, you gonna do it on the computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion carries 6-0. We call him. Jay shaking his head, so yes. Jay, you're on the dock.
All right. I apologize for not being here last month. I believe that linkage meeting is very important, and I want to facilitate that, keep that one. I was out of town and couldn't be here. So I appreciate you sticking with it and going with it, and I hope we can continue that in the future. I was curious as I read the agenda about PFG shares. How many shares about do we have? What number in there?
It's a little over 1,000.
Okay. And just another thing, the capital outlay, I reviewed that, and I'm in favor of capital outlay plans. I like plans, and I appreciate you doing that. I was surprised though that there's nothing for the elementary school. We know that there's some needs, and I just didn't see the big things on there on the plan. So I was just curious, we don't have to address that tonight, but worth thinking about and sometime in the future maybe.
We'll probably talk about it a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything? No. Communications, okay, we have written items, we have yes, thank you, BMS, thank you, and thank you from Laura, if we get a chance to read those. Okay, thank you, that was very nice. Administrative reports, we have Laura, you're up.
Good afternoon, evening. I don't know what time today is. I don't have any additions. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Looks like you're working on the NGSS stuff.
Yep.
You guys have the big Veterans Day.
Tomorrow.
Show tomorrow.
Yep, 8:30.
Yeah.
Yep, you're welcome to come. Let that go. We had Grandparents Week started today. Opa wanted to bring that back, so we did preschool and kindergarten today, and the house was all the way full.
Yes.
We had, I think, 81 adults that came and ate today with the kids.
That's awesome.
So we have a different grade level the rest of the week, so. It's good.
Great. Okay, nobody, anything else for Darla? Mr. Spring.
I would say the only thing that I would add is Lee and I and Darla have traveled to Pitt State and ESU to some early career job fairs and have put a lot of names with faces. Matter of fact, I reached out to an individual last week that we met there for our sped job, and so I think just continuing to be at those is very productive. We were full at Emporium the whole day until, I think Darla's day till 3.
Yeah, I had 8 interviews that day.
And then I had a meeting to get back to, and so Lee and I came back at 2 o'clock, or left at 2 o'clock, but it was full from 9, broke for an hour at lunch, and then was full schedules from then on. So that was a good sign.
You said early job fairs. Were these job fairs we've been able to attend in the past, or this new this year?
We haven't been to Emporia for, I think last time Lindsay and I went, for a sped opening, and then Pitt we've been going to.
Okay.
But I felt like Emporia was really, really good.
I also will just add in there, if I may, that like, because we put in our retirement incentive, like actually knowing that we have a job and being able to say to these people, like, I have a 3rd grade job that's gonna be open next year, is a lot more, it's better than just saying, like, we may have some opening, we keep checking our webpage, you know, like, so hopefully some of those contacts will turn into some applications, and if not, some people that we can follow up with that.
That's what I was ultimately trying to get at. Was curious if what we had done during negotiations, if you saw
I
any
mean, I
benefit
think for
from
me,
it.
like, it's much more helpful to,
Yes.
you know, because a lot of times those kids are like asking us, are you gonna have any openings, or do you anticipate openings? So like, being able to say, like, right now, for sure, I have a 3rd grade opening, like, you're able to go out and apply now, check out our website, like, we've got our business card and, yeah, that's nice too.
Awesome.
Just, I feel like it's a lot better spot to be trying to recruit at this point in the year versus like last year when we went to Pittsburgh in March and like everybody that was a teacher already had a job, so there was nobody to even talk to, so it's just good to get our name out there.
Yeah, good.
Great.
And I'll add on to that, with the early retirement on our end, was able to recruit a English teacher to come student teach here with the sales pitch of you're getting to student teach under the person that's retiring, and if you do a good job, the job is yours. So that sales pitch allowed to get a student to come student teach here with the opportunity to have first crack at an English opening in our district. So with that early retirement, was allowed to offer that as a recruiting tactic, which worked up in Emporia last week. So
Extended job interview.
a 4-month extended job interview. So it was enticing for the student to come down here and do that. I don't think they would have done that without that potential option. So
That's advantageous to us also.
yes, so it was very beneficial, and we'll have somebody down here in January to student teach, and they do a good job, which sure hope they do. Got an opportunity to fill a candidate with somebody in-house that would be able to transition in there pretty nicely, so the career fairs have been very beneficial.
Good. Okay, anybody else have anything? You're up again.
Not as, at least for me on this one, no proposals this month of changes, so just on mine at the top for the linkage is where I do my newsletters. No, I wouldn't say no pertinent changes or information on this month's one compared to last month. Just completed our second awards assembly this go around. It's gotten good reviews in that regard, making some subtle changes in that. But other than that, no new information to report other than that staffing information.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Lindsay.
I just got back from the National CASE Conference, which is the first time I've attended that since being here. And it was nice because it was in Oklahoma City, so it was close. So I went to that. They had a lot of really good sessions. It'd be great if I could take a team to that, but next year it's in Providence, Rhode Island, so that won't be quite as easy to just jump in a car and go.
What's the case?
I can't remember. Council of Administrators for Special Education,
Okay.
something along those lines. But it's a national conference, and so like I said, next year it's in Rhode Island, the year after that's in New Mexico, so. But it was an OKC, so I took advantage of it being close and went down. We are taking a team to the law conference. We leave Wednesday for that in Omaha, which we do attend that one every year. Staffing wise, right now BES is my hot spot. Everyone else is holding on. I got a couple openings here and there, but BES has become my hot spot just with some people have left, making some moves. So we'll work on it. Darla and the team's working on it. We'll push through.
So in your notes, you were talking about director possible, what was that about? Replacement or something like that, it was in your notes.
You're talking mentoring.
Yeah, maybe
This was the next review.
Yeah, I'm mentoring a new director, so I'm a mentor through K-State for the Kelly Mentoring Program. Last year was the first year I was asked to do that. It's actually a pretty big honor. It's actually a program I went through 12 years ago. And so last year my mentee was from Paola, and this year she's from Piper.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
trying to figure out what-
And she was actually at this last conference as well, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah, it said for a new director and unofficially for another local director.
Yeah, so there's a director nearby who does not currently have a mentor and did not get into that program, and so I've gone over and visited with her and just kind of helping her as last year.
Just making sure we weren't missing something there.
No, no,
Black Wednesday.
no.
Technology, you're up.
Technology, or big thing going on right now is the business cumulative. They got our data back to us about 5 days earlier than we thought. Conversion went really smoothly. Nicole has been busily making we wanted to do some adjustments with how our positions and assignments were in the system, and so she's been busily making those changes. We actually have our tech staff and our secretaries are all going to log in tomorrow, clock in digitally tomorrow, kind of as a test run for us, and then hopefully a little bit later in this week we'll roll it out to everyone. But it's been an extremely smooth conversion.
Good, not good like that. Anything else for Craig? Superintendent's report.
Coming up next week is American Education Week, and again, we're so fortunate to have a very dedicated, passionate group of professionals working with our students. If you have the opportunity, make sure you thank an educator this week. And
Thank you.
we'd like to thank our staff, for all of our staff, for everything that they do, the effort, the time, the energy that they put in to support education in our district. I shared some information last month with you on KISA. There's just some additional information there in that second item. Again, KISA is our accreditation process. Like I mentioned last month, not all districts in the state of Kansas are accredited, and we are fully accredited, which is obviously very, very important for us. And we received some good news from Commissioner Watson for four Star Awards last year. We only have 3 this year. We have 4. You see the information down there on how you achieve the Star Awards. The last one was the Copper Award past year on academically prepared for post-secondary success. So that was an additional Star Award that we received. And again, this isn't just about one building. It's about all of our buildings. It's about our entire community, school, students, staff, parents, Board of Education, everybody involved, administration, leadership. It's very, very important to receive this recognition. So, good news, very good news.
Congratulations.
Nice to add another Star Award, and hopefully we can add some more in the future.
That's not short. Anything else?
I don't.
Okay. Well, moving on, this building report card review.
Okay, building report card review, remembering Christy's gonna pull up the site here. Again, you'll see this information when we're doing the results reports. So again, I want you to think in terms of the way I'm looking at it with you right now. I'm looking at it as a 30,000 foot view from above. So when I'm looking at this, as Christy's pulling up the information, I'm looking at, do we have more 3s and 4s than the state of Kansas has averaged in different subjects? So this is math, and you can see the district from 24 and the district from 25 results, and the state from 24 and the state from 25. So if you look from 24 last year to this past year, we have fewer kids in level 1, and we want to see more kids in levels 3 and 4. And you can see that's happening. That's happening not only comparison from last year to this year, or 2 years ago, I should say, in this past year, but it's also, again, comparing us to the state. So that's in math. If you'll click to the next one, go to English Language Arts, please. Again, same thing, view from 30,000 foot above. This is for the entire district, all grade levels that we assess in English Language Arts. Again, fewer people, fewer kids in level 1. We want to see more in levels 3 and 4. And again, the buildings, they'll dive into this more with your results reports. They're diving into this information at their building level with their teachers, 3rd graders, 4th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders, whatever, and whatever subject area that they're assessing, and they're looking at individual students and individual grade levels much more so than what we're looking at, like, of course, like right now in this 30,000 foot above view. If you click on the science piece, again, science, again, you'll see similar results as you've seen in the first 2 subject areas with math and language arts. And that's what we're looking for. We want to see improvement. We want to see improvement, movement forward, progress. again, you're not gonna see kids move from level 1 to level 4 very, very often. That's not gonna happen. You wanna see them move from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or even in some cases, when they're looking at kids in high 1 to move to low 2, or if they're in low 2, we can see kids in low, middle, and high 2. If they're in low 2, and if they can move to high 2, they may not get to 3, but they're moving forward. We wanna see movement forward with students and progress, and that's just not with state assessments, that's with Ames Web, that's with all sorts of different assessments that we look at, FastBridge, and so on and so forth.
Craig, I know we talked at some point in the past month or two about the state adjusting how they do some of this. How
Yes.
much of these, and I noted, I say it because it looked like the state and us, it's not the right way of saying that, I wouldn't have scored good in the ELA section.
Yes.
Both we and the state improved in all three categories.
Yes.
So do we have any idea how much of that is due to them adjusting those blocks?
I would say that there is a little bit to that, but again, the adjustment on the cut scores are more in line with fitting with the students and truly where they are progressing and moving forward. So you were seeing some kids like say, and some people were saying, well, kids in level 2 were a failure. That's not the case. Kids in level 2 were actually going on to move forward in their career plan of study and moving forward and being successful. So having said that, the cut scores really more reflect where the kids should be in their progress and their movement as they move forward in life and their career path. So the cut scores are much more accurate to what the assessment scores should be.
Okay.
Good question. And I don't know if any of the building
I just wanna,
administrators want to have any comments?
We talked about this once before, but also just a caveat, that especially that ELA test, that it's a very different test than previously, as well as the cut score, as well as the number of questions that would land in each one of those categories. There's maybe one level 4 question and 4 level 1 questions. So you miss the one level 4 and you're out. So it's the deeper dive is more important than, to me anyways, when I'm looking at a kid and what they can truly need than just the overall number.
It just does seem like it's hard to build a trend from year to year with the way things change.
Yep.
To me, the only real comparison we can make is how we fit against the state average for that particular year. But that, you guys obviously have a much better understanding of those numbers than I do.
That's why we do, like Matt was just talking about doing the interims, but then also why we have our like Ames Web Plus or FastBridge is just so that we can continue to get other data to drill down to what is it that Lindsay needs or is missing right here, versus just looking at the overall number.
Like the interims, we've completed the interims, and I'm going through some data pieces to send teachers so that they can go through and highlight, okay, this is what we have taught so far this year. This is how our kids performed, here's how the state performed. In just about every category, we're at or above the state level, based upon the fall interims.
Great, thank you.
And that's all I really have for the building report. Carl, unless you have any questions? The district report card, I guess it's in district and buildings. Maybe it's coming up, I think it's coming up right now.
Sorry, guys.
Right there. There you go. No, that's Word docs, no. Oh, really? I have to remember that. Word doc, okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this. If not, I will. There you go. Yes.
So, well, while I'm pulling that up, we'll go to board reports, so any board members have anything?
So I put together a information sheet. Lucas had asked last month, or I think it was last month, about the academic support foundation. So basically, they gave us some information, things we've been doing the last couple months. You get one? Okay. So it does have the vision and mission, and it's called the Burlington Academic Support Foundation, obviously to support academics and staff at, programs for the students and staff. So the goals in October, we met twice in October, once with the foundation and once with the fundraising committee. We adopted the bylaws, we completed the 501c3 paperwork and got our EIN number. Established a checking account so that way we would have an account. We started setting up fundraisers for the foundation and anyway, and then we talked to a bank, and we're going to talk to some other banks about a kickback idea. So one of the ideas was like if there are some communities that have like their debit card, it's like a Wildcat card, and then foundation, it could be a tax deduction if they made a donation, or like a checking account, be the Wildcat checking account, and so like if you open that account, $1 a month or something could go towards the foundation. So that was something that we're working. We've talked to one bank so far, so we're going to work on that. We met in November so far. We met with Dave Baxon. He is the Goddard. He's done this for about 10 years. Very, very good when it comes to foundations from the start of their foundation. So ask some specific questions like how'd you get started? What was some, what were some of the things? Campaigning and that type of thing to get things going. We're going to send out donor letters. I was waiting on the 501c3 because I don't want to ask for donations if I don't have, on that. Promote and advertise what we're about, so we're starting to work on that. We're going to do some promotional videos about the foundation, what it's about, setting up a Facebook page, a web page connected to the school. We've worked with Courtney some on that, but we need some more information to get her going on that. Establish a logo, create a QR code. So some of the ideas are like at a restaurant or activities, things like a QR code if people want to donate. And then matching funds. Some dates coming up. Hoover Stripway, they have agreed, a lot of times you'll see if you go to some businesses, they'll ask you if you want to round up for education. It doesn't really go to what it says it's going to do. Hoover's, the month of December, we're going to do that with Hoover's and we'll go specifically to the foundation. So we're very excited about that to partner with them. It's not like they're donating money. If people choose to round up and they're going to help campaign, they're really excited. We're excited. So it's ways that we're getting local businesses are involved, but it's not asking them for money. So we're going to do that. We have a tip-off night, so we had a really good idea. December 11th at the Wildcat Grill. So we're still in the works of getting everything, but the idea is that maybe some of the athletes or staff or foundation members would be the servers and do all, we're going to promote Wildcats and the basketball teams. And so the next night, maybe have a mascot. We've asked the cheerleaders, we've reached out to the band, see if they would all come out there, and then all any tips or anything, and then we'll donate a percentage of that to the foundation. So we're pretty excited. Instead of kickoff, like tip off. So we're excited about that. We've talked to Ariane about doing pop-up shop maybe for some of the home basketball games. And we've definitely talked about, we don't, if somebody's already doing it or a group, we don't want to take that over. It's just if there's no one doing it, we want to do it. Payroll deduction opportunities for businesses, we're working on that. We've scheduled bingo at Rock Creek Country Club on Saturday, January 3rd. Mike Roney did a lot with the CASA bingo, and he's agreed to help with that also. And yeah, he did a great job and does a great job with that. And I was like, okay, can you help us with that? So, we do it, but it's different for that. We've talked about a couple other activities, and then also like that used to be where they put flamingos in yards and you would pay to get them out of your yard. And we talked about Easter eggs, so we're looking into that. Golf tournament scheduled June 20th, which is alumni weekend. So I think that could be really good. And then any other ideas that come to mind, we're excited about that. The goals we've met with each of the schools, And we're working on, you know, we want people to donate money for specific things, not just donate money for no purpose, right? And so each of the buildings has given us, some goals that they want, and so those are gonna be, you know, your money's going to this or that, not to just in, for nothing, basically, or not what you don't know. So classroom grants will be a big thing, obviously, and we're collaborating with the administrators, so. Happy to answer any questions, you're welcome to come, or I think our next meeting hopefully will be November 21st.
On the web page connected to the school, with this being a separate organization altogether, have we verified that we are able to tie it to the school's website, and that doesn't cause any, conflict of interest or anything?
Well, so it is separate, but there's still, in the bylaws, it specifically says that, you know, there's board members, the superintendent is like a non-voting member, and so it's like a connection to the school, so like Eudora got her place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
we looked into that, cause it seemed like it could be,
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
wanna find out 2 years from now that we did
Yeah.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Monique. Monique's
Yep.
done a lot of work on this, and we certainly appreciate all your time you've done on that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Good. Anybody else have anything? So, we're into budget review. Jay,
Yes.
talk your capital outlay.
Yes, the capital outlay review at this time, every year in November, we do review capital outlay. And so a lot of this information will look very, very similar with just some different figures and adjustments, you know, made there, in this document. I'm not gonna go over, read it word for word, because again, you've had a chance to see it. But I do wanna go to that last paragraph and then kind of talk about, this kind of ties in, with a comment that Jay made a little earlier. In the capital outlay, and again, I met with each of the building principals. I've also met with Margarita Solano, Brian Shank, Margarita with grounds, or excuse me, with maintenance, and Brian with grounds and transportation, in terms of the things that we need to project out into 7 years, because you as a board asked me originally to do 5 years, now we're out to 7 years. You asked me to add a couple of years. It's really hard to identify 7 years for a couple of reasons. One, you never know exactly what's gonna happen. This document's very fluid. If we have a boiler that we think is gonna need to be replaced next year, then Margarito tells me that we can get another year out of it, we just move it. We either move things forward or move things back a year or two, or move it forward if it needs to be moved based on a need, so on and so forth. Anyway, it's a very fluid document, as you guys know. We, again, met with all the building principals. We looked over, you know, their facilities and tried to project, and of course, 7 years out, projecting what things are gonna cost. You take what the cost is now, and you usually are projecting anywhere from a 2 to 5% increase each year. So again, having said that, we did not put very many, if any, things from the elementary school, because quite honestly, the elementary school, again, what we're looking at doing there is gonna cost millions of dollars in the future. So we didn't put anything purposefully on for the elementary school on this list, because we don't know what the future plan is gonna be. Again, is it add-on? Is it renovation? Is it a new building, different bond issue? I can tell you that today, Darla and I had a meeting with McCown Gordon representatives, Clark Simpson, people again that we've been working with McCown Gordon. We met with them today. Clark, Darla, and I, and we had some very good conversations. They have some dollar figures today. We just did get presented. I can tell you the number, and I'll give you some information in Friday notes, and we'll have a meeting and discuss this in the future. But they are working on a few final, you know, some small tweaks, but it's pretty expensive.
This is the list that we asked for, that is needs and wants
Yes.
right
This is
now.
what you guys wanted to hear, is in terms of what a renovation would look like for, again, the elementary school. And I can tell you that the plan that we looked at today, talked about today, did not include a 5th grade at the elementary school. It did not include a new cafeteria, a new kitchen. It did not, it basically included a small office area square footage addition to move the office more towards the front, where the front, we would think the front would be in terms of the northeast corner there by the gym. So again, having said that, I'm gonna have some information for you, some numbers, but it was expensive. I will tell you this, we don't have the final numbers, but, and again, it was very detailed. It showed the project and what this would cost and that would cost, and I think you guys will be surprised, I think patrons will be surprised at what the dollar amount is on a renovation for that building. Don't wanna give away completely right now yet, because I just did get it, and they're, just today got some information, and they're making some tweaks to it. So, again, once we get this information, I think then we'll share it obviously with the board. Then I think it's time to, have maybe some public conversations and say, here's where we are and what's gonna cost for a for a renovated Burlington Elementary School. As compared to a renovation versus, and a small addition versus a brand new building. And that $45 million building that we wanted to do last May, it's not $45 million anymore. So it would be an increased dollar figure for a new building. But again, like we talked about, our brand new building plan, if we go to a new bond issue, would be possibly adjusting that plan. Do you move 5th grade out of that new building? Do you not put the Belk in that new building? What do you do to make that dollar amount come down? But again, that's gonna have to be something that you guys will have to decide. I will say this, that if, in terms of the project, and I think we can talk a little bit about that, this project, they have a timeline, like a lot of projects do, kind of like what you saw with the VOAG welding shop. This project, if approved at a March 2026 bond issue, would take you for the rest of March, or the rest of 2020, renovation of the current elementary. This bond issue would take you for the rest of 2026, all of 2027, and definitely all of 2028. And it's gonna be construction done during the school year. It's gonna be, we're gonna have to work around them, and they're gonna work around us. It is not ideal for, as I noted here, it's not ideal for students to learn and teachers to teach when you're doing a renovation. Like we said, when construction people come and do a renovation, there's 2 days you're happy. It's the first day when they show up for the job because everybody's excited, and it's the last day when they leave because you're leaving and they're causing no more noise, no more dust, no more problems for students to learn and teachers to teach. So again, I did not put anything related to the elementary school, but maybe a couple of items in there, possibly. I will tell you this, any immediate needs, Margarito Solano and Darla Long are going to let us know. Any immediate needs, we will take care of immediate needs. So if there are things that they tell me need to be done, we're gonna take care of those. Now, are we gonna put a brand new set of LED lights in the whole 2nd grade wing with dimmer switches? No. If we have a light go out in the 2nd grade classroom, are we gonna repair it and fix it? Yes, so it's lit up in there. We're not gonna do any major, quote unquote, major projects, but we're gonna make sure the immediate needs are met based on what Darla and Margarito tell me. And with that being said, I will just entertain any questions. Any of the administrators can chime in as well. And again, these are possible projects. Like for example, we have a middle school weight room as a possible project in the future. We may not do that, but it's something that there's some interest in there potentially to have it. Currently right now, we're sending 8th graders or 7th and 8th graders to the high school for a strength and conditioning type of program. We may choose not that. We may decide that is good enough for what we have right now, and we can work it in the schedule. We may not need a middle school weight room. So it's just, again, I don't want people to look at this and say, they're building a weight room at the middle school in 28, 29. No, it's on the list. And that list is fluid, and things can come off that list, and things can add to that list based on what our needs are, what our wants are, what you guys decide in the future.
Did that answer your question, Dave? Okay. Anybody else have anything on that? I know we probably have questions further down.
The only, not on that specifically, I was gonna mention that there is an item that's on 25, 26 that's also shown up on the next year that I'm guessing should not be on.
Did I double up on one?
Yeah, the multimedia room felt wall replacement.
Thank
I saw that.
It jumped out at me because it's one of the more expensive items. And,
25,000 or something.
yeah.
Thank you.
I did see it.
I will get that off the list of 1 year and remove it from
So I
1
have
year.
a couple questions, while I'm having one. So the locker room countertops in the middle school,
Mhm.
because it all runs together, kind of. Did we just replace some countertops in there with, straw or something? Did we do
Not
something?
in the middle school, but in the high school. We did that in the high school, in restrooms and in the girls' locker room because they were in pretty bad shape.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Yes.
just did the epoxy floors and like the stall partitions.
Uh-huh.
And stall partitions, I think were 2 years ago, so kind of the last piece would be the
I couldn't
countertops in
remember, it
there.
all runs together there, so it's
Yeah.
like, couple more questions, you mentioned the field turf later, so how many more years do we have left on field turf?
I think this is coming up with the third installment, year 3, so this will be the third payment in December. And then again, remember, after the 5th payment, we have the early payout. Yes,
Which would be nine.
yes, correct.
I won't take over time, but anyway, so the other question, the mini split AC, we don't have anything in the stadium above, right? Is that the way you talk about adding something?
We do not, and again, it's not so much a heat issue, it's more of an AC issue because it gets really hot up there. This is something that
I know,
Ariana
I've
brought to
heard
my
about it.
attention, that and again, you have equipment up there, you have some video equipment up there, because they're doing video from the press box areas, you have Jim Hills, Rick Smith doing Voice of the Wildcats games on the radio. It's like I say, it's something that probably needs to be looked at, because it does seem to stay hotter during the football season now, and
Yeah,
so, anyway.
okay, one other maybe, baseball, softball, parking lot, rock, thought we just did that, already. We've done that.
Could be an additional parking space, possibly.
Cause this 26, 27,
Mhm.
and it has in there like 55,000.
Yeah, it could be an additional area. We talked about doing that with Ryan Shank and possibly, so think in terms of the main entrance into the parking lot there, and as you're going and be to the east, towards the north parking area, adding additional rock and gravel, if you will, to create additional parking
Behind
space.
the-
So it'd just be to, yeah, well, not really behind the outfield, it'd be more
Oh,
just, more to
between
the
dirt
north.
pile and the-
Yeah, more to the north, very much so, between the dirt pile and the current rock that we have. That can be an additional parking area that we could look to, to add on to, or we may not do that. We may decide that we have enough parking as it is, but, that area is being used for parking and it's fine as long as it doesn't
Not
get
really.
wet. And then all of a sudden we end up with ruts and problems for mowing, and it's hard on mowers, so,
So then I have one more question.
okay.
Do we have a roof schedule, like roof replacement schedule? Because I see in here, we only have one roof in there for replacement, and that's in 28, 29. And I'm feeling like, I don't know, somewhere before then,
So, because we re-roofed the middle school completely and the high school, and it's only 7 years out, I didn't put it on there because we should be good at the high school and the middle school with our roof situation. It'll be the elementary school that will need a new roof. And again, just kind of depends.
Huge item, they just reach out.
they're very obviously, roofs are very expensive. And as I mentioned to you, I think you guys at the board before, there are 2 kinds of roofs, those that leak and those that are going to leak.
When we redid those roofs, it was before I was on the board, I remember seeing it happen, but what's the life expectancy on something like that before we need to start going in and looking at a replacement?
That's
Again,
kind of what I'm asking.
no, that's a good question. Hopefully, with this new TPO system, we're hoping that we can get close to 30 years. But again, I would say, if you can get 20 or more years out of the roof, closer to 30, it would be ideal. And the TPO system seems to have a longevity that's greater than the older style roofs that have been built in the past.
Do we have some kind of warranty or something where they come back and patch any spots that are leaking for a certain amount of time?
We do, exactly. And we have certain, again, once they go off of warranty, it's kind of, think in terms of your car. If you have a 5-year warranty on your car, you don't sell your car after 5 years, most likely.
Right.
You're gonna keep your car past 5 years. So again, in terms of warranty, when a warranty goes off, we still should have life in the roof. But again, it'll come down to, I guess, in terms of factors, are you, if in year 25, if you have a leak here, and you just fix it and patch and repair that, But in year 20, that is one option. If in year 25, if you got 50 leaks in your roof, you're probably looking at doing a new roof.
Sure.
It all depends on, again, how it's reacting. Good questions.
So you would guess then, in 7 years, we only have one roof that is gonna be due.
Correct.
needs a replacement.
Correct. So the high school, again, the roads are all 10 years. Excuse me. I think 13 years or newer, because they did some roof projects before I got here. The last was done my first year here. And the middle school was done about, well, COVID, so it's been 6 years,
5 years ago.
5, 6 years ago, so you're in good shape there.
That's when we had the indoor swimming pool in our room.
We had the storm, yes.
Okay. Well, that answered all my questions.
Other people, anybody else have any other questions? Again, this will be a very fluid document, very helpful for the new superintendent to be able to see what is in the works in the future. And of course, you guys will just continue to adjust this document as time goes on. There are some items on here we do not have on here that we missed by chance. It's possible. You can shoot me a message and I sure can add them in and try to get some proposals.
So I have, anybody else have anything on? Okay, move the contract approval of appointments, so we have an insurance renewal, she made a presentation last month, you'll remember, and we had a, I don't remember what it was, how much increase was it? We had a, it was
4%, wasn't
yeah,
it?
5%, overall 5%. So we had an increase of $24,000. So we'll need a motion to,
I move to approve the insurance renewal from Trust Point Insurance for $522,166.00.
Second.
motion seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, submit your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to approval for professional development council points for professional learning community meetings. I thought that looked like a pretty good idea.
Yes, this is from, again, from our PDC meeting this past month. And basically, we have some PLC meetings that are occurring in Burlington Elementary School during teachers' plan times. They would like to get PDC points for those PLC meetings. This is just a formal request to the board to be able to do that. Darla, I don't know if you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so like the middle school has like a PDC time every day outside of the plan time. My teachers, we don't have that. And so one of our initiatives this year is I'm asking them to meet weekly within their grade level to just talk about things they need to talk about. And then they're also required to meet with the title teachers and Deborah Parker, the instructional coach, once a month and kind of do like a data review. And just, that's part of like kind of, we're looking at that MTSS process and figure out how, you know, what we need to do differently to meet the needs of our kids. So that's kind of where this stems from, since we're taking actually 2 plan periods a month. Well, it's actually 4 because it's once a week. Once a week with their team and the 4th week is with other people. So
Can you explain to me what PDC points are used for?
relicensure and salary advancement.
So you earn a certain amount of them and it
They can
benefits
do
you to
it
move or not?
on the salary schedule.
Okay. Any questions? Motion to approve professional development council points for BES staff who attend the professional learning committee meetings. And we don't need to do that in any other buildings, is that right? Just the elementary.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Okay, submit your vote. 6-0. So, as you know, we talked last month about the Principal Financial Group, demutualizing or whatever we called it.
Yes.
So, and then, we were unknowingly participants, and that's, stock options, I guess you could call it, shares.
Mhm.
So we need an authorization to have Christie and Craig sell those shares of Principal Financial Group.
Because again, we should not, this is from a health insurance policy from way back in 2001 that started. And, I'm sorry, not health, life insurance, I'm sorry, wrong insurance, life insurance policy, back in 2001. Again, long story short, we should not own shares of stock. We have to have secured government investments like CDs that have a return on your investment, a guaranteed return. When we found out about this, that's when we went into motion with a lot of phone calls and finding out what we need to do. That's when I alerted you guys in our Friday notes about this situation. So with your blessing, what we'll do is look to, and this is again per KSDE Finance, per our auditors, we need to get rid of these shares of stock because we should not own shares of stock.
I think the question is, then what are we gonna do with that money that we receive?
That'll have to be, we're working on finding out again where it would need to go. Christy and I will present that information once we get that, once we get these shares sold. There are some different areas where we can put the money, but one example would be whenever we have some interest earned, like on CDs, where we go into capital outlay, that's typically where we put our interest earned investment wise.
So if we approve this motion tonight, then you'll just put it somewhere until we talk about it next time.
Well, there's a long process that we're having to go through
Yes.
right now. So once we get to that point, then, I mean, our policy is to put the interest or from idle funds into our capital outlay.
We will bring that to you guys as a board once it's time to do something, once we have sold those shares, where we are going to place it and why we're placing it.
Real quick, I wanna also answer the question, and I should have probably put it in here, the number of shares we have is like 1,400
Okay.
and some shares. Right now, market values, anywhere between $84 and $82 per share. The offer we received was well under what market value was, that kind of, not that we even knew what the heck it was when we got it, honestly, took us by surprise, so.
Somebody just sent a letter saying, hey, we'll buy your shares.
That's how we found out about this. Somebody
Yeah.
wanted to buy the shares and we had no idea. And then when we found out what they were worth, it was way below market value of their offer. Somebody was trying to pull one over on us.
So I presume you guys have looked for better offers then?
Oh,
Well, we don't really have, I mean, have to, the market share through computer
it's like
share
selling shares.
is who Principal has utilized. So they're basically the holder of it, and they disseminate like the dividends from that on behalf of Principal. And so we're working with, a financial planner to help us walk through that process, which it's slow, but, I mean, they'll help us offload those, shares. So at a fair market rate, and that's for our best interest, so.
Should we have been receiving dividends all this time?
We have been
We
receiving
haven't,
dividends.
We just didn't know what.
We didn't know why, I did not know why we were receiving them, but the district has been receiving them since 2001. So at a quarterly rate of about, I mean, depending on market value, I can say recently, probably less than $6,000 a year, like on a quarterly basis, less than $2,000 per quarter, obviously, and then we were, our practice was to put that into actually general fund as a reimbursement. So that's what we've been doing, is taking those dividends and putting them into general fund.
They reached out and called the previous superintendents and everything else. They could write down.
Did the research to find out what my predecessors had done, and, so, yeah,
So,
it was all.
long story short, the predecessors did not handle this properly.
Well, I don't know, I don't wanna say that,
But it just,
I think with as much footwork and things of that nature that we've had to do to even get a hold of CompuShare and ask for the accounting of it and get that switched over. It was very time consuming, and so, and like I said, even our predecessors, we even went back, talked to Dr. Clark, talked to Dale Rawson about it, went and looked up past minutes to see what that might look like, where did that come from, and the district essentially had, life insurance as a board as a board fringe benefit to all of its employees. And the carrier of that life insurance at the time was Principal. When Principal went public, then that's when the demutualization happened, and they gave their, anybody that had, I guess, policies through them, so the district had policy through them, they then gave that to them in shares rather than any type of, cash. That's the best that I could come up with. I'm not a financial guru, but this, but we're working our way through it. So as soon as we knew,
Right.
we notified our auditor. That was our first, what is this? What should we be doing? And they said, well, you need to not have the shares, first of all. So then we reported to KSDE to let them know, and they have been very, they've been awesome to work with. And so, yeah, it's just taken some time to work through.
Demutualization, again, definition right here, is the process of converting a member-owned company, such as a mutual insurance company or a stock exchange, into a shareholder-owned stock corporation. This conversion allows the company to access public capital markets for growth and requires policyholders or members to receive compensation, typically in the form of cash or stock in the new company. That's the $10 word to demutualization right there in the definition.
Christine, you say there was other districts out there that had the same problem or not?
I don't know if there are other districts, I haven't found that out. I know this problem is unique, KSD, there's a lot of people who wanna know for precedent what's gonna happen with this.
Right.
And, so it is a unique issue. The financial advisor that we have been, talking to had actually a relative that, had this happen to, cause they had a policy through Principal as well. The uniqueness here is that we are a school district, and so we're a company that might hold this, could be an LLC, for example. We are not. We're a USD, so things that they would want for, evidence as us being a company, if you will, like articles of incorporation, or for us, and it's articles of unification.
Yes.
So when did we in fact become a school district? So we've had, again, KSDE's been helping us with that as well. So,
Yes.
yeah, we're doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing, and we're
Yes.
just,
So they've been doing a lot of work on this, for sure.
Yes. Dale Dennis, veteran, longtime KSDE financial person, has been assigned a special consultant to us on this. So Dale's terrific. We're very fortunate to have those people helping us and guiding us. So again, we will, when all this is worked out, we just need a motion for you guys to allow us to take care of this situation.
basically the liquid is the,
I'll move to authorize Christy Hess and or Craig Marshall to sell shares of Principal Financial Group.
Second. Motion second, any discussion?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's ask the auditor, people making sure that where money's going right, what other places are we vulnerable at?
we did,
We
Okay,
will.
cause I was
Thank you.
gonna say, what other places are there?
we did, and they also advised according to our policy that where we put our interest for Iowa funds
Okay.
is in Fund 16, so they were supportive of that.
Good.
Be nice to use it somewhere, give us some guidance on where we can
Right.
use it.
Sure.
We will share that.
We'll share that later next week.
Yeah. When we come back, when it's all said and done.
Okay, any further discussion? Let's let you vote. Motion carries 6-0.
I appreciate you guys doing your due diligence, digging down through all those layers to try to find an answer to this.
We came to work one day and we didn't know this was gonna happen, so this was it was an interesting day and has been interesting days after that, so, thank you. No. I don't have anything for
Well,
personnel.
unfortunately, we got another retirement here. At the end of the 2025-2026 school year, Chris, I guess we need to.
Motion to accept the retirement request of Christine Aspergren with regret at the end of the 25-26 school year.
Second. Okay, motion second, do we have a second?
Yes.
Okay, motion second, discussion. Submit your vote.
And I'll say at the end of the 2025-26 school year, she will have been a teacher for 37 years. 4 of those years have been at BHS.
And we will miss Chris.
Motion carries, 6-0. And it looks like maybe we could get a request for
Customer.
no student issues.
No.
That's good. Closing items, debriefing. Anybody have anything else? Well, we need to work on the foundation.
We got one for Lucas.
Oh, Lucas, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so last meeting we had a discussion about the matching funds for Belk for $15,000 for one-time bonus for everybody, merit-based bonus. And we asked Craig and Christie to look at where those funds would come from, trying not to use general fund, and it sounded like they were successful. And so I just wanted to thank them for finding that information for us and getting that done without any funds coming out of the general fund, but still being able to match the donation.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucas. Anything else? Well, golly. We stand adjourned.